Have you ever wondered where ancient myths come from? Are they just wild stories, or is there something more to them, a grain of truth hidden in the fantasy? Let's talk about Ragnarök, the epic end-of-the-world story from Norse mythology. Picture this: the sun goes dark, a freezing winter lasts for 3 years straight, crops wither and die, and the world descends into total chaos before being reborn. It's a terrifying, powerful tale. But what if I told you it might not be a prophecy, but a memory of a real-life global catastrophe? Let's rewind the clock to the year 536 CE. This isn't mythology, this is history. All across the world, from Europe to Asia, chroniclers started writing about something strange and frightening happening in the sky. A mysterious, dense fog rolled in, blocking out the sun. The Byzantine historian Procopius wrote that the sun gave its light without brightness, like the moon, and it seemed like it was in a constant eclipse. Imagine looking up and seeing a sun with no warmth, just a dim, bluish disk hanging in the sky. This wasn't a one-day event. This eerie twilight lasted for over a year. The consequences were devastating. Without sunlight, temperatures plummeted. The world was plunged into a volcanic winter. Summer never came. In Ireland, the chronicles speak of a failure of bread. In China, they recorded summer snow and massive famines that killed a huge portion of the population. Scandinavia, the homeland of the Vikings, was hit especially hard. It was one of the worst times to be alive in all of human history. Society began to break down. Famine, disease, and warfare became the new normal. Entire villages were abandoned as people starved or fled in desperation. It must have truly felt like the end of the world. So, what caused this global disaster? For a long time, historians were stumped. But modern science has given us the answer: volcanoes. Scientists have analyzed ice cores from Greenland and Antarctica, which act like a frozen timeline of Earth's atmosphere. They found evidence of not just one, but a series of massive volcanic eruptions around the year 536. And in the decade that followed, these volcanoes blasted colossal amounts of ash and sulfur into the upper atmosphere, creating a thick veil that circled the globe and blocked the sun's rays. The evidence isn't just in the ice, it's also in the trees. Tree ring data from around the world shows a dramatic and sudden period of cooling right around this time, confirming the historical accounts of a world gone cold. Now, let's connect this back to Ragnarök. The Norse people living through this nightmare didn't have climate scientists or ice core data. They had no way of understanding what was happening. All they knew was that the sun had vanished, the cold was relentless, crops were failing, and their world was falling apart. This wasn't a chapter in a history book. It was their terrifying reality, the Fimbulwinter, the great winter that Norse myths say precedes Ragnarök, sounds exactly like the volcanic winter of 536, the dim sun, the failed harvests, the societal collapse. It all lines up. It's likely that the survivors of this apocalyptic period passed down the stories of what they endured. Generation after generation, the tale was told, not as history, but as myth. The memory of the real-world catastrophe, the terror and the chaos, was woven into the fabric of their cosmology. It became Ragnarök, a story not just about gods and giants, but about the fragility of the world and the experience of living through its collapse. The myth served as a way to process and preserve the memory of an event so traumatic it could only be explained as the gods themselves going to war. So when we look at the myth of Ragnarök, we're not just seeing a fantastical prophecy of a future apocalypse. We're looking into the past, at a memory. A memory of a time when nature broke its rhythm and humanity was pushed to the very brink of survival. Ragnarök wasn't a prediction. It was an echo of a real catastrophe, a history carved into the heart of a myth. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this look into the hidden history of myths, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.